So on the second one then, if I want to find a linear equation in that one, I'm actually going to find it in all of the forms. So we want it in slope-intercept form, but we have a point and we have a slope, so we're going to use the point-slope form. Okay, first off, so that would be y minus 4 equals negative 2/3 times the quantity x minus negative 3. So we'll call that x plus 3. So that, ladies and gentlemen, that is our point slope form, if we needed it, okay? Because we need to be familiar with all three of the forms. So that's the point slope form, okay? To make that become the slope intercept form, I solve for y. So the first thing that I would do is I would distribute the negative 2/3 into the parentheses. Okay? Then I would add 4. So that would be the slope intercept. Okay? So that's the slope intercept form of the line. If I wanted to go one step further and I wanted to make it be standard form, I would first have to multiply everything by 3. And then I would have to get x and y on the same side. And that is the standard form. Okay? So you need to be well versed in going back and forth between all 3 points. Now, I will tell you that if we had a question like this on the test and we asked for the slope-intercept form of a line, because of the way that the testing filling in the blank type things works, we would ask for A, B, and C in there. So in this particular case, we would have had A being negative 2, B would be 3, and C would be positive 2. Okay? And that would be how we would fill in that form. But all of those directions would be on any particular problem if it were like that. Okay? Good? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs halfway if we're not so clear on something. Okay? All right. So, moving on. Oh, today, the attendance question of the day is, and we can plug this into the chat, if you were to get a pet turtle, what would you name the pet? What would you name your turtle? If it were me, I would name it Yertle. Yertle the turtle. Okay? All right. My answer. Otherwise, you can dump them into the chat, and that is our attendance question of the day. Okay? While you're thinking of your turtle's name, if you would do these 2 problems next, that would be great. Tony the Tiger, great. Okay? So try those 2 problems next. Some good turtle names coming through. All right, I'm going to go. So first thing, I'm going to rewrite this equation as x squared minus 18x equals negative 86. Then off to the side, I'm going to say, well, my b here is negative 18. I'm going to divide that by 2, and that's going to be negative 9. And then I'm going to square that, and that's going to be 81. So I'm going to add 81 to both sides. Left side is now factorable to x minus 9 quantity squared. Right side is now negative 5. Take the square root on both sides. Left side is going to be x minus 9 then. On the right side, because I have the square root, that's going to end up becoming plus or minus there, because I'm solving plus or minus there. Okay? And then the square root of -5 is I times the square root of 5. Then I can finish it off by adding 9 to both sides, and that gives me x equals 9 plus or minus I times the square root of 5. Okay? That gets me that one. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns for that one? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. All right. Last one, we need to solve that and then state our answer in interval notation. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it mathematically sound. We could graph it. We could graph the left side, graph the right side, find their intersection points and see where it's above the horizontal line of 7. Or we could say 15x squared minus 32x minus 7 is greater than or equal to 0. And now 15x squared minus 32x minus 7, that is an upwards opening parabola. Okay? It's a quadratic because its biggest exponent is 2, so that makes it a quadratic, which makes it parabolic in shape. And it opens up because the a value of 15 is positive. Okay? So what I just need to do is I just need to find those two locations where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? And I could do that by, I could use quadratic formula, I could complete the square on it, I could factor it if possible, all those different things, and it actually is factorable. Okay? So if I try 3x and 5x, if I go with 7 and 1, and I go negative and positive, what I've done here then is I've created negative 35x, and out here I've created positive 3x. Those two combine together to give me my negative 32x. Okay? So I can go now 3x minus 7 equals 0. So 3x is going to be 7. So x is going to be 7/3. 5x plus 1 is going to be 0. So 5x is going to be negative 1. So x is going to be negative 1/5. So this one would be negative 1/5, and this one would be 7/3. I am looking for where it is above 0. So that would be here and there, would be those two spots. So in terms of the interval that would happen on, that would be from negative infinity all the way up to negative 1/5. It would be bracketed because it's a equals case, unioned with, unioned with 7/3 all the way out to infinity. In inequality notation, same thing. This would be x is less than or equal to negative 1/5, 4x is greater than or equal to 7/3. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all that we have for the review problems that we would have done in class. I have the review homework assignment as the next 4 slides on the Smart Notebook. So if anybody needs to stick around and get some questions answered, that would be totally fine. I'll be around for the next 25 minutes here in class. But so in the meantime, so between now and Monday, you have P4 homework. Make sure that that one's turned in 100%. The first formative assessment on P1, 2, and 3. The second formative assessment on P4 and 5. And the review assignment to get done and get that turned in. So you got those 4 homeworks, and the test will open up at 3 o'clock today. Okay, and so then you can start taking that, and you get 1 attempt at that. Okay, if there isn't anything else, you can go get to work on making sure that all of your stuff is turned in and ready to go. And if not, we'll see you on Tuesday.